Greetings, viewers, and welcome to another episode of The Collection Crib. I am your host, Tylercloud. Today, we're going to be opening up the Jada Toys Ultra Street Fighter 2, the final challengers, Ryu and M. Bison, the hero and the villain. Yes, these Jada toys, I was like, you know what, why not? The Blanca and Chun-Li episode was really cool. I love those figures, so I was like, you know what, why not? Let's collect a couple other of these awesome figures of the Street Fighter franchise. And what better way to kick off the next episode of the Jada Street Fighter figures than with the icon himself, Ryu, the Japanese martial artist who was based on a real-life karate expert named Masatatsu Oyama, I believe his name is. He was the one who invented the full contact karate style. Ryu is definitely the he's like the Goku of Street Fighter, and of course with his Shoryuken, which is literally the Kamehameha. But, you know, Ryu is just honestly the most iconic figure of all of Street Fighter. And what is a better iconic hero than the iconic villain, M. Bison? Now, his story is actually kind of interesting. He's supposed to be like a dictator who is, of course, going to try to take over the world.
Of course!
And his name, M. Bison, was actually not what he was going to be named at all. In Japan, he's named Vega. Yeah, right? We all know who Vega is. This guy does not look like Vega at all. But North America didn't really see that name threatening as like the main villain. So they decided to borrow the name Mike Tyson. Yeah, that Mike Tyson. Yeah. Well, when I look at this guy, the last person I think of is Mike Tyson. But they were going to call him Mike Bison, but they thought maybe it would be kind of a legal liability. You know, maybe they would have lawsuits or whatever. It was going to be a parody, but I guess they just didn't want to get into any legal entanglements. So they just left off the word Mike and just left M in there. Almost kind of like Mysterious Bison, or, you know, what does the M mean? Kind of a, I don't know, just kind of leave it up to the viewer to decide what M means. But M. Bison, of course, is the iconic villain, kind of like the Shao Kahn of the Street Fighter franchise, at least for the first couple games. And we're going to go ahead and get these two figures out. Since Blanca and Chun-Li was, you know, really an awesome episode for me, and I really did like those figures, I was like, you know what? Let's collect a few more. They're like 25, 30 bucks. You know, not too much of a hassle to spend. And I just love these boxes. They're so freaking awesome. I mentioned them before, but I'll say it again. I just love the arcade kind of style box that they made. Really lovely design. And of course, Ryu is from Japan. And M. Bison, well, he's from parts unknown. So I guess he and the Ultimate Warrior hang out a while. But now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get the original Ryu out of his packaging. And of course, you got to open up from the bottom because they won't come out from the top. And I do save these boxes. I think these are the best boxes so far that I've opened up on the show that I keep. Not just because of the backgrounds, but I just, like I said, the arcade style, just the artwork, and, you know, just having all the characters in the background. Really, really cool box. And, you know, just give, of course, just the whole Street Fighter vibe. Can't complain at all. So let's go ahead and get him out without damaging the awesome background. Ooh, come on. There we go. Now for the left one. There we go. All right, let's get him out. Whoop. There you are, Ryu. And of course, you're strapped in. I'm just going to use the knife. Hopefully it won't be much of a hassle. There we go. Get his Shoryuken out. Oh, I think he's strapped in. Oh, yeah, let me save the background so I don't ruin it. Let me get the straps out. And I know I should have gotten my scissors for this part, but oh well. Ooh, come on, man, don't damage the toy. There we go, okay. And of course he's strapped on his feet, but it didn't matter. All right. Look at Ryu, ladies and gentlemen, in his white judo suit with a black belt. And who anybody can read Japanese, leave a comment down below of what that says. Maybe it's like his fighting style, I'm not sure. But anybody who can read Japanese, leave a comment down below. I'm not going to try to figure it out, but fully articulated figure. And like his knees bend, his His feet can go down. I'm trying to move my head here not to cast a shadow. But yeah, and his red gloves there, red bandana. Really cool figure. Ryu is definitely a pop culture icon, and of course, like one of the greatest heroes of the video game Street Fighter franchise, if not of all franchises of video games. And really, really cool figure. And I know there's like another variant of him. I think he's wearing gray, I guess in his evil form. I'm not 100% sure, but I prefer the white. You know, I was introduced to him wearing white, so the white Ryu will go in my collection. I should have brought my amiibos out here, but you saw him in the last episode. But really fascinating figure. And of course, he's from Japan. I'll move the box here. I'll put him in his background there, and I'll get everything else out. Or at least I'll try to. Get a little platform there. Whoops, didn't mean to shake the camera. My apologies. Whoop, there we go. I'll get everything else out here. Move those little things. I'm going to leave the gloves and his spare head in here for now. I'm just going to go ahead and put his Shoryuken blaster in. Let's see, where's there it is. There's the hole to put the platform stand there. All right. Actually, you know what? I'm going to replace his hands just so I can kind of create that Shoryuken mode. Take his hands out, keep moving my head. Just like the Dragon Ball Z figures, they are a pain in the butt to put the limbs on, but not too terrible. There we go. Actually, that one's kind of like a glove. Not too shabby. Come on, there we go. Okay, put his other hand in there. All right. Get into that pose where he is about to unleash his Shoryuken, or the best I can. This figure is fully articulated. Really want to get him into a good pose. There we go. I think I had it on the wrong way. Actually, let me try do a more interesting pose rather than him just standing there with it. Come on, man. Stand up for me, buddy. Stand up for the collection cribber. You can do it for me, Tylercloud. There you go. Excellent. Ryu with his Shoryuken. And why not? I'm just going to get his other face out. His other head out. There we go. There we go. Put his hands there. Excellent. Ryu is out of the packaging. Can't be more happy with the detail and just the look of him. I guess detail and look is the same thing, but Ryu, the main character of Street Fighter, been there since the beginning and continues to influence fans with his fighting style, his look, and of course his rivalry with Virtual Fighter's Akira. Just kidding. All right, so now let's go ahead and get M. Bison out. Not Mike Bison, M. Bison. I know, it's weird. I still can't believe his name was Vega in Japan. This is Vega, who I hope to get in the future. Alright, M. Bison. The wannabe dictator, the megalomaniac himself, the Shao Kahn of the Street Fighter franchise. He hosts his own tournament, and he wanted to use Ryu's power for reasons. I didn't really go full into the whole information pages of M. Bison, but you know, I mean, when I was a kid, it didn't matter. Even today, it's like, who cares about their stories? They're cool characters. I love the settings. They're very colorful. And, you know, just enjoy them for what they are. If you want to learn the lore, go for it. There we go. And I like M. Bison's background, too. Just that giant bell with, looks like some natives there watching on and cheering for their future dictator. Really, really cool. I love the backgrounds. I love the packagings. Definitely one of the best that I've opened in this series, on my show. And I'll try to get the straps out without damaging the toy. There we go. I know I should have got my scissors, but I'll do that next time. I mean, I got a lot of big scissors. I didn't want to damage the toys with the scissors in the way. So let's try to gently use my knife. All right. M. Bison with his cape, purple blaster, and whoop, wait a minute. All right, it's not a plastic cape, it's a real one. All There we go. Hope I didn't damage it. Lovely, lovely. Yep. Really, really cool. Bison, the Shao Kahn of the Street Fighter franchise, or at least in the first couple games until other villains came into play, like Akuma and so on and so forth. But yeah, love his design. I love the red. I know there's a blue one out there, but you know me, Tylercloud, the collection cribber, loving the color red. Kind of like Chun-Li, just love her color, and I just had to go with the red. So sorry, blue, but red is definitely my color. And the cape, of course, is not plastic or anything, kind of like Dragon Ball Z, but it's a real cloth cape. Really, really cool. And let's see how it's attached. Yeah, it's just kind of attached there from the top. And I think you can remove the cape, kind of like how he does in the video game, but I really don't want to remove it just to, you know, just for caution, because I don't want to ruin the figure if it does. But leave a comment down below, because I really don't want to pull out the limbs or anything or mess with it too much. So I just kind of want to leave him how he is right there, just super proud, super intelligent, but also evil as can be. Like the only story I really read was from Chun-Li. Her father was killed by Bison, and when I completed the video game, she went to his grave and, you know, paid her respects and saying, you know, I got him, Dad, I got him. So here is his purple blaster. I guess it would actually go into his fist. Like I said, I do love Street Fighter, but I don't know every single detail, so I don't know if the blaster came out or in or whatever, but you know, this, it looks like it's like a flaming fist. Kind of like a flaming purple fist. Really, really cool. Kind of like Chun-Li when I said it was her leg blasters. No, that's just her feet going really, really fast and just kind of creating the illusion like flames were coming off her legs. But yeah, Bison with his iron boots there. What was it, like a Star Fox gimmick? What, he cut his legs off or something? But, allegedly. But Bison, oh God, look at his eyes too. He can give The Undertaker a run for his money. Bison, really fascinating figure. Really happy to have him in the collection crib. You know, leave a comment down below what you guys think of Bison, the almost Mike Tyson parody. And there's that face. I get the both faces up here. Really, really cool. Whoops. Sorry, Ryu. Put you right there. Put his head there. I'll get his shoulder pads out. And I'll just leave that for next time. I'll try to do that off camera and just to make sure, and for, you know, so I don't break him or anything, just to see how he actually looks without his cape. But just for the show, I think he looks cool with his cape. Really awesome figures. And they will go next to Blanca and Chun-Li respectively. And there will be more Street Fighter figures to come. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this episode of The Collection Crib. Leave a comment down below, like and subscribe, and I, Tylercloud, the Collection Cribber, will see you cribbers next time.
Round 3, fight! Oh, you can...